In the beginning, there was a vision. It belonged to Ben Hatskin, a North End Winnipegger with a passion for sports and a love for the art of the deal. His vision and his passion for the deal would change the face of professional hockey in North America. In the beginning, there was also Bobby Hull. The Blackhawks hero, trying to get rid of Hatskin and his crazy vision, jokingly demanded $1 million to leave the Windy City for the fledgling WHA. The North End gambler rolled the dice, met the price, and began a legacy of greatness. This is what early 70s television looked like. Now, keeping the time frame in mind, Bobby Hull explains his defection to the Winnipeg Jets.
When I was asked to join the WHA, there were a number of reasons that I considered it. First of all, of course, if I told you the money didn't make any difference, I'd be telling you a lie, and which it did. It was terrific. I thought the offer to me and the payment was very rewarding, and there was just one thing I felt bad about, that it had to come from people that had so much faith in me, who I'd never performed for, rather than for the people that I had performed for a number of years. Second of all, I felt that it was a worthwhile cause. I thought that the WHA was needed in these certain areas where hockey, professional hockey, was long overdue. I felt that the people in the prairies and certain areas deserved professional hockey.
Hull's first victory, however, didn't take place on the ice. The NHL tried every legal maneuver they could to stop the raiding of its players by the WHA. So Hull was also named coach of the Jets to get around these maneuvers. 15 games into their first season, the biggest win the Jets scored was in the courts, clearing the way for established NHL players to choose their destinies.
You would find on many nights when we weren't playing that the boys were out at a function, a Boy Scout meeting, the hospitals, wherever we were required to be, we made sure that we had somebody there. Bobby Hull was the one that said, boys, that's our duty, that's part of the package.
Bobby, pretty well, what he tried to mold was not only how good you are on the ice, but also off the ice, and I think Bobby did a great job that way.
Despite Hull's domination of the league with his line mates Norm Bowden and Christian Bordelot, the Jets lost the APCO Cup final in their first year. Not good enough for Ben Hatskin. The globalization of hockey had begun. The Jets imported the best Swedish and Finnish players they could find. The two best were Anders Hedberg and Ulf Nilsson.
Hi, everyone. I'm Cactus Jack Wells here in the Winnipeg Arena. Well, it's the Winnipeg Jets and the Edmonton Oilers in tonight's WHA hockey action. And believe me, it should be quite a hockey game at that.
Giving it back to Hedberg and Nilsson. 2-on-1 break for the Jets. Hedberg got more! Kent Nilsson and Schuberg on the blue line for the power play. That is Hedberg in the corner, being watched by Rick Lee. Gets it. Scores! Out Nilsson!
It was interested during the World Championship '74. Jerry Wilson had come and talked to me and Anderson Schuberg about the possibility of coming over to Winnipeg and play, and we thought it would be so much easier to come to a new country and a new situation, to be more than one person, because if you're 3 or 4, you can have a little bit of an impact on the situation, and Bobby really supported us. And it was, when Bill Robinson really came over, we saw that it was some reality behind the Winnipeg situation.
When we found out that these guys were genuine guys, just like we were, getting an opportunity to play professional hockey away from their homeland, and once we got the thought of animosity because one of our buddies from Toronto or Winnipeg or wherever it might be was going to lose a job, once all that was over with, we pulled ourselves together and built a tremendous hockey team and tremendous organization.
Hockey before Andersdorf and Bobby was up and down wingers. The man was on the man checking, and with the turn and burn style they had, they'd lose their winger in a second. And for me as a defenseman, when I used to play with them, I had the best view in the whole house because they'd be right in front of me, and I wouldn't know which way they were going. So I was just trying to stay out of their way while I watched them play. It was fabulous.
Teddy Green now, the Jets, and Claude Saint-Sauveur of the Edmonton Oilers. Schuberg across the blue line, Nilsson in a long score!
The production line of Hull, Hedberg, and Nilsson rocked the traditions of North American hockey with a style of play that made the Jets the envy of pro hockey franchises in both leagues.
Anders Hedberg.
Wherever we went, when we went all around the world and played the top teams from Sweden, Finland, Czechoslovakia, Russia, we played with authority. We played with pride, and we wanted to do well wherever we went. But we also wanted to carry ourselves professionally because we were representing Winnipeg and Manitoba.
I always remember Boris Kuglin saying that we were the first club team to beat them. Beat the Soviet national team, and he said that our game with the Soviets that night was quicker than the Montreal Canadian game. And at the time, you think, oh, okay, that's great, but it's not until a few years down the road, as anything else does, time makes you look at things differently, and believe me, that was probably one of the greatest nights there was. We were in Moscow for the Izvestia tournament, and we played there, and on our way home, after we were home, I think it was for about a week or so, we were in Chicago Airport, and Ken the Friar Nicholson was happened to be seen with Muhammad Ali in the airport, and he introduced himself as if Muhammad would know him anyways, but that's Friar. He thinks everybody knew him. But he said that Muhammad Ali had heard of the Winnipeg Jets in Moscow. And I think that alone, what we did, we put a lot of people on the map, and we were well known in Finland and Sweden years and years ago, even before Timo and the boys came over now, and Thomas and that. So it's just, we had started a tradition in training in Europe and combining both the North American style and the European style. And I think really who summed it up the best with the Winnipeg Jets was after Edmonton Oilers won their first Stanley Cup. And Glenn Sather on Hockey Night in Canada and said, I just want to thank the Winnipeg Jets because that's how we molded our hockey club after that.